trash monster.
I'm
just a gremlin that crawls out from under a rock once in a while to record a podcast with you, then burrows back in.
I just hit record when you said that, and I really hope it picked it up, because that's not getting edited out.
Okay, keep it. It's true. That is where I am at the moment.
That's the cryptid that you are, is the trash monster.
Yeah, what I don't even know what cryptid. It's not even Bigfoot, where it's like you might see me in the woods maybe. No, I'm under a rock.
You're Danny DeVito in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm the trash man.
Yes. I'm Penguin living in the sewers, and I put my little umbrella once in a while to poke around and shit.
Oh, God. Can I be Oscar the Grouch?
You can be whoever you want to be.
Beautiful. I want to be sassy and angry and live in a garbage can.
If that's what you aspire to, 2020 is your year.
Yo. Trash monster energy 2021. So,
hey, have you seen the ads that are going on right now?
Well, hold on. Hi, this is supposedly. We have a podcast.
Yes. You know what? I just figured... let's just jump into it. Hi, welcome to Supposedly. I'm Jessi. This is Rue.
Yep. Hey, I'm Rue.
Welcome to the middle of our conversation.
We're trash monsters this week.
And maybe you are too, and that's okay.
It's very much approved. Can you turn your mic down just a little bit?
Oh, yes, I can.
Okay, thanks.
How's that?
Let's see.
Better? Testing, 1, 2,
yeah,
3.
That's better. I love that we both do that. We do like better. And then we wait, and it's like, you have to talk for me to know if it's better. We just, what the fuck is blowing up in my house?
I swear something is blowing up outside of your place.
I really hope it's just like night military militia, or not militia, artillery testing.
I'm like, what are you hoping for?
No, because listen, my life is really weird, and I'm used to things blowing up and gunfire sometimes now. It's fine. Hey,
I wonder, do you ever wonder if some of that is like residual from where you're living, like residual sounds, you know?
I mean, it could be, but it's also not.
Okay, well, you know.
They blow up. No, like, I would say, yeah, it could be, but I also, like, see helicopters on a daily basis.
So probably not.
So, unless they're ghost helicopters, but they're very modern.
Well, good for the ghosts.
Right? Yeah, like, living their best ghost life. No, I have a video. I'll probably put it on our social media, but I'll send it to you. That's, like, literally, because the weather is gray here most of the time, from October to April. It's very bleak.
I'm sure the explosions don't help.
And I like took a video of me on one of my walks, because that's all I do, walking through on this gravel path that's like farmland and flowers, and that's it. It's very idyllic German village life.
That sounds so nice.
It sounds so nice. And it is. It's just very much I listen to murder podcasts. Okay, it's still blowing up. I listen to like murder podcasts while I'm on these walks, and I'm like...
And then you're like, please don't let me end up in the ditch next to the road.
Yeah. But anyways, I took this video of this like very gray overcast day, and it's just like if I was the type of person to make a horror movie, this would be a scene in it, even just shitty cell phone video camera footage. Because it's like my shoes crunching on gravel in this gray overcast day, and in the back you just hear and I'm just like, this is where I die.
Listening to your murder podcast.
And then they found her hacked up in the back of the van, and I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be me next.
It's like, that's your opening of Law and Order. Dun 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 dun.
Also, I think that was my best Karen Kilgariff impression. So shout out to you, Karen. Hacked up in the back of a truck somewhere. Okay. So how are you, Trash Monster?
Trashy.
Yeah.
But hanging in there. Mm-hmm. Feeling pretty gross about myself at the moment.
Yep.
Like a trash monster do.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen those ads that have come out? What is happening there, Rue? Do you need to look outside or something? This is ridiculous.
I'm going to just hold on a sec.
Go talk to your husband and verify that that's okay.
I'll be right back. It's like shaking my whole studio. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Hello, ghost.
Oh my gosh. So like Rue's getting bombed apparently. What's happening there?
Okay, I'm back. Hold on. Let me get my... Oh, you left. Where did you go? Oh, no. Oh, this is the cursed episode. Hold on. Oh no. So I came back and Jessi's gone. Oh.
I'm back.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. It is just the artillery tests. I went in,
Okay.
no, like I went into the other room because like technically my studio's in the hallway, kind of like it's a separate room. It's a storage room technically. And so it's like outside of our apartment. So like I went into our apartment and Darnell was like, why are you here so early? And I was like, are we under attack? Are we safe? And he was like, yeah, why? And I was like, because I just keep hearing these explosions that like shake my whole room. And he was like, they're just doing tests. And I was like,
Doesn't even
oh,
phase
okay.
me.
I thought I was like not safe. And he's like, I'll tell him to turn it down, babe. So hopefully he's gonna get on that. He's like, my wife's recording a podcast that like 30 people listen to.
Could you guys just like not right now?
Could you just take a break? Okay. Anyways, so yeah, this, and then I came back and you were gone. Like this is, I've taken to calling this the cursed episode.
Yeah, my internet dropped and I was like, all right, well, at first I was like, oh shoot, maybe are they under attack? And then I realized it was on my end and I was like, okay, I panicked for a second. I was like, oh my God, are you okay?
No, I don't know if you heard me, but like I went out and I like looked out the window and I was like, hello, ghosts. And then and then your internet drops. She's like, oh my God, she found a ghost. No, it's not the demon in the basement. Fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, I've been getting really into doing my genealogy on Ancestry.
Yeah,
recently.
have you found anything else out?
Yes,
Awesome.
a lot.
Ooh.
A lot. I'm trying to find my Irish and Scottish surnames.
Yeah.
Because I believe I might have an ancestral castle somewhere, and that's always been a dream of mine because I'm a weirdo to have an ancestral castle.
That'd be cool.
But one thing I wanted to talk about with you is the fact that I really believe you can find whatever you're looking for in your genealogy through your ancestors.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it out there now that I'm either going to find a true crime or a paranormal through all my research, and then I'm going to present it as one of our stories at some point.
That's super dope.
Yeah. And I'd love to do the same thing for your genealogy.
Yeah. So I ordered 23andMe. Yeah. It was hella on sale, and so after we were recording, I like went out to Darnell because like it's on sale, but it's still a decent enough purchase to like have a conversation with your significant other. Be like, hey, is it cool if I? And he's like, what are you doing?
$50.
And I was like, I'm just gonna buy my 23andMe. Is that cool? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, do you want to do it too? And he's like, no, I'm good. I was like, okay.
Ever since your story on Pocahontas, and then I found the Native American in my DNA, I've been really searching, and I want to find that story, no matter how bad it may be. The rumor was that I guess on my dad's side, my mom had told me that they had a family rumor that one of the great-great-grandparents or something like that married a Native American woman. So I'd like to believe that it was a consensual thing, but I do want to find out that story no matter what it is, because that woman deserves to have a voice. So
no, I'm really excited, and like this summer I did some genealogy just like with ancestry.com and that kind of stuff, and so I'm excited to see how much of that was legit. Yeah. Because I was able to trace pretty far back through just names and birth dates and who was in whose baptism records and so on. But there's always that like, did somewhere the wires get crossed and we're talking about a different John because every goddamn person's named John in the 1700s, and so it's one of those where I'm like, okay, did I go off on a tangent I didn't mean to, or like did I really find that? And it'll be cool to see if it corroborates to me, because then I'll be like, oh shit, like that really is where that grave is located in England, and like I should go visit that while I'm here and really be it like instead of just this wild goose chase of like, well, the website said it was, but like when I have like factual DNA evidence to be like, no, yeah, you're on the right path, I'll be like, oh, that's cool.
Absolutely. And I found with Ancestry, I've done Ancestry multiple times, so I don't like to pay for stuff. Yeah. And every time they have a free trial.
A lot of libraries have access too.
Yeah. Anytime they have a free trial, I jump on and I just work my butt off for the month free trial or however long it ends up being. Yeah. And the first time I did it, I got really far, but the second time I did it, I had to correct a lot of the stuff I had done the first time because I was a new user and I wasn't really verifying my sources in the way that I do now.
Yeah.
But I will say it took me exactly all of one day to track down my birth father.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, I don't know where he is or his
Okay.
number or anything, but I
Yeah.
was able to verify that he is who I thought he
Okay.
was. And I had tried tracking him down through Ancestry and
Yeah.
other places multiple times. Once again, I have no intention of meeting this person.
Yeah.
I really don't want to, but I would like to know, kind of.
Yeah.
And
well, it's just, I think that when you know the name to call something by, it loses its power over you.
exactly.
And you
Absolutely.
may not want a relationship with this person, but that's still genetically half of your story.
Right.
And
I
you deserve
walked
to
through
have
life
that.
feeling like half of a person because I
Yeah.
didn't know this whole other identity. So it took me all of the day to verify that, and I found out that one of the reasons I could not locate him before through all this is the fact that his father passed away when he was 1 year old, and then his mother remarried, and they were adopted into that family.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Into the stepfather, and without that piece of knowledge, I wouldn't have known. But thanks to Ancestry and the amazing resources they have, I was able to figure that out. And I've gotten a lot further in my family story and given stories to my ancestors who I feel like are very much forgotten.
Yeah.
That I would have never known. And
right.
I just love it.
Yeah, I think it is really important to like honor and remember your ancestors. No, okay, so a cool thing that happened to me was, well, two cool things. First cool thing is I tracked down some of my, I think it was a grandfather, like 3 greats back.
Okay.
Immigrated from Switzerland.
Ooh, okay.
Which is like a 6-hour drive from me. Like I want to go when COVID is safe, hopefully this vaccine comes out soon, like I would love to go and visit because it's this small little town and I would love to go and see that. Other cool thing is, so you know how Ancestry will like sometimes have pictures or
find a grave, or there are different pictures that people will post, or you'll be able to find historical records that will lead you to pictures.
So I found, I think it was a great grandparents, I think. I'm not sure how many times back, couple times back. But they had pictures and I was like, oh wow, like that like the dude really legitimately looks like my grandmother.
That's amazing.
And I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. And again, it's on the internet, so you're like, maybe this isn't right, because anyone can publish any photo and be like, this is who it is, and not. And I was like, wow, that's really cool that I get to see who that person looked like.
Yeah.
And then when we came back from the States, Darnell had gotten a lot of pictures from his family and just stuff like that, so we put up a gallery wall. It looks really cute. I'm really proud of it.
Oh, that's amazing. That's something I really want to do at my new place.
Yeah. And so I was going through some of my old pictures. I don't have a lot, but I have some of the family photo albums from when my grandmother passed. And there's way more pictures at my mom's house, but I have like a little tiny collection here. And I was like, oh yeah, let me go through these, see if I want to put any up on the wall and just kind of have this walk down memory lane. Jessi, I open one of the photo albums. The whole photo of all of those great-great-grandparents. The same photo I found online. I have the hard copy original photo.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
I know.
I love it.
Dude, I got such like chills. I had like goosebumps. I was like, oh my god, like I really have this, because like it's so much cooler to have it on the kind of sticky matte paper instead of like printed out at CVS kind of thing. Like, oh, it was so cool.
We've had this mirror for I don't know how many generations,
and it's super haunted.
I don't know.
Mirrors are just freaky.
Experienced it. I've got a weird thing for hand mirrors too. It was a silver hand mirror, and it was very much dented on one side. And the family story that went with it was that one of, I don't know who, but somebody got very, very sick with like tuberculosis or something like that. And how they used to call for help is they would bang that mirror on the side of the nightstand. So I'm like trying to find those people, and there was a picture, but it's like a great aunt or something like that.
Wow.
It's very interesting. I will say, like, after connecting with the first cousin that I spoke to, well, I didn't speak to, but we discovered together on last podcast. He gave me just a few details about his family, and with that, I was able to run. And like I said, within a day, I had the information that I've been looking for my whole life.
That's so cool. Awesome. I'm so excited for when mine comes in. I hope it doesn't take 17 years. Things take a really long time to get here.
I am going to challenge you too then to find something in your family history and genealogy, whether it be through Ancestry or newspapers,
100%.
we can talk about on the podcast, whether it be a true crime or paranormal or just weird, or let's give a voice to one of those.
No, and I know that it's there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because
everybody can find it.
Especially like my grandmother had a lot going on. She was very much like, I call myself a witch and I practice craft and stuff. And a lot of that comes from I have like intuition and I see things and hear things and whatever that are not connected to this astral plane or earthly plane. It's the whatever. My grandmother had this to the extent that it was kind of spooky, like to the point that you would be sitting next to her and she'd be like, oh, can you answer that? And you'd be like, what? And before the word what even left your mouth, the phone would ring.
Oh, that's cool.
Or like there was this one time I remember being a little kid doing Christmas shopping. It was like this time of year. And my mom I think at like Costco or Macy's, I don't know, some store. We were looking at sweaters for my grandma. And my mom had been like, oh, should I get her the pink one or the blue one? The pink one or the blue one? Like, they're both cute. I don't know which one she'd prefer. All right, whatever, we'll get the pink one. And she put it in the basket. And we're walking around. It must have been like Costco because I think we were grocery shopping. And her phone rings. And she picks it up and she's like, oh, hey, Mom, what's up? And my grandmother says, hi, honey. It's really sweet that you're doing some Christmas shopping for me. I really think I would prefer the blue sweater.
That's amazing.
They were not talking about this. There was my grandmother was 4 hours away. Like
she wanted the blue sweater.
She wanted the blue sweater. And I love the grandma energy to be like, no, you're going to get me the blue sweater.
It's the blue.
I'm too old to even play that I like this. Yeah. But no, like that kind of stuff would just happen. And so it's like knowing that that's where I get the even smaller level of that intuition that I have means that as I trace this shit up the line, I'm sure I'm going to find some weird ass shit.
Oh man, you have to do it. They do have a free trial going right now for 2 weeks. They always do around Christmas time.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I got us a newspapers.com.
Oh, right on.
That I think I'm going to keep with us so we can continue our own research for the podcast as well. So.
That's so cool. All right, we should
eventually we'll get a Patreon and they'll pay for our maybe.
Right. Maybe, hopefully, possibly.
It's only $10 a month, guys.
That's like 50 cents from all of you.
We'll even throw in.
Yeah, right? Bonus content.
Yeah.
At what point does our Patreon just become an OnlyFans of desperation?
I mean, I think that's how every Patreon is born.
That's fair. It's like just ghost nudes. Zach Bagans is just like, oh my god.
Check out my boobs. Sorry, couldn't miss it.
Yes. I feel like we should tell some stories though.
Yeah, and it's your turn to go first this week.
Okay, sweet. I am doing something a little special.
Okay.
But no, so remember how for Halloween you did the costume countdown?
Yeah.
So I thought for the Christmas season, and because it supposedly went a little awry too, and probably should have done this for last week's episode because that's when December started, but I can't count. So we're doing it now.
Love it.
I'm going to do creepy Christmas traditions from around the world.
Ooh, fancy.
And we are going to start with the biggest, the baddest, the bestest. Our boy Krampus.
Let's start.
I think
Is he German?
He's Austrian technically, but also German.
Okay.
Austria and Germany are very, very close. And a
I
lot
was
of
going to say you're like right in the mix of it. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of cultural exchange.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people already know about Krampus because like movies have come out and stuff. I told Darnell I was doing this the other day and he was like, what's that? So
really?
maybe
no idea?
Maybe some of you don't know about Krampus, and I'm really excited to get to be the one who pops your Krampus cherry.
That's something I never want to experience.
All right. So, see, I say so too. It's all right.
I know.
Supposedly, that's what our Patreon. Supposedly, you just it's almost like a Jersey act. Supposedly, on December 6th, throughout parts of Europe, primarily Austria and Germany, little children who've spent the year being good wake up with treats of fruit and candy in their shoes, delighted to discover that St. Nicholas has visited them and rewarded their good behavior. So that's actually
on the 6th.
Yeah.
So that's Sunday.
The 6th, yes. So before this episode comes out. Yeah.
Before this episode comes out.
Whoops.
Yeah.
No, so actually growing up, like, because I am so hella German, this is something that we did. Like, my mom would always put stuff in my shoes, and I got so freaking jazzed. I'd have, like, a Barbie in my shoes and candy. Like, I was like, oh, yeah.
What do you mean your mom did it? Didn't St. Nicholas do it?
Oh, right. Yes. Sorry. He traveled all the way from, I just assumed that because I don't think that St. Nick has a passport maybe, or like access to international travel, that I think my mom helped him out. She was like, oh, you've got all of Austria and Germany to take care of. I'll help you out, fam.
Well, Christy and I are actually doing Christmas on St. Nicholas Day this year.
Oh, sweet.
Instead, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Coming up. It's already happened, depending on which plane of existence you are, whether you are us right now or listening to this later.
It is both and in the same.
So that's what you could expect if you have been good. So while these good little children are sleeping, during that evening while St. Nicholas is coming to fill up their shoes, something worse is lurking and taking care of the children who don't behave. And his name is Krampus. So Krampus is a creature who stands upright and is often depicted as having one hoof and one hairy human foot with jagged toenails.
What? Okay, that bit is new to me. What? How does he walk? Trim those toenails. Man, if my toenails get a little long, like, I am feeling that in my shoe.
I hate it. I have to do my toenails.
Does he wear a horseshoe on one of his hoof, and then he wears a regular shoe on his toenail one, or like
he wears a red bottom? Thank you very much.
I think we agree he needs a pedicure, and maybe that's why he's cranky. I think we solved it because St. Nicholas puts stuff in people's shoes. Krampus has no footwear. He's jealous.
Yeah. It's a shoe fetish. It's a Christmas shoe fetish.
Thing.
Yeah.
He never got to have things in his shoe because he has no shoes.
I actually wonder if the Christmas shoes song that makes me cry every single time it's even referenced is actually like about Krampus. I wonder if it's like from Krampus's perspective.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't know? Oh, no. Man. Okay. Oh, dude. Christmas shoes. Hold on. We are gonna... Guys, I'll tell this story at some point. It's fine. We're looking up the lyrics right now because if you don't know the Christmas shoe song, you need to get put on this.
What the heck is the Christmas shoe song? Okay, let me be the first to say I don't like Christmas music.
It's all terrible. Last Christmas by Wham is the only acceptable Christmas song there is.
I really like Hanson's Snowed In album.
Okay.
And that's about it.
That's fair. I accept that. Okay, so Christmas shoes. Oh, God, it's so bad. It was almost Christmas time. There I stood in another line, trying to buy the last gift or two, not really in the Christmas mood. Standing right in front of me was a little boy waiting anxiously, pacing round like little boys do. And in his hands, he held a pair of shoes. His clothes were worn and old. He was dirty from head to toe. And when it came his time to pay, I couldn't believe what I heard him say. Sir, I want to buy these shoes for my mama, please. It's Christmas Eve and these shoes are just her size. Could you hurry, sir? Daddy says there's not much time. You see, she's been sick for quite a while, and I know these shoes would make her smile, and I want her to look beautiful if Mama meets Jesus tonight.
Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you listening to something so designed to depress you?
I've never...
Also, as a sick person, I don't want shoes. Just let me be sick.
I don't want Jesus shoes.
Give me some grippy socks.
Thank you. But yeah,
continue with your sad-ass song?
Oh, that's just the sampler. If you want to continue. But basically, you want to hear the rest?
No. Yeah, I want to hear the rest. You can't just start with that. Let me guess. His mom dies wearing the shoes and, like, the buckles are shiny or something.
Okay, he counted pennies for what seemed like years.
Of course.
Cashier said, son, there's not quite enough here. I love these simple rhymes. It's so good. He searched his pockets frantically. Then he turned and looked at me. He said, Mama made Christmas good at our house, though most years she just did without. Tell me, sir, what I'm gonna do. Somehow I've got to get her these Christmas shoes. So I laid the money down. I just had to help him out. I'll never forget the look on his face when he said, Mama's going to look so great. So I want to buy these shoes for my mama, please. It's Christmas Eve and these shoes are just her size. Could you hurry, sir? Daddy says there's not much time. You see, she's been sick for quite a while, and I know these shoes would make her smile, and I want her to look beautiful if Mama meets Jesus tonight. I knew I'd caught a glimpse of heaven's love as he thanked me and ran out. I knew that God had sent that little boy to remind me just what Christmas is all about. And then the chorus again. I want her to look beautiful if Mama meets Jesus tonight.
Just tell me about Krampus.
And also, like, if we're going with the Christian tradition, this is Jesus's birthday. Like, I don't think he, like, hi, can you get your, like, dying mom and her shoes away from my birthday party?
Look, it's a nice thought.
It's a nice thought, but it's
also, it's so designed to pull at the heartstrings.
Oh, it is. It's like a Super Bowl commercial.
Cringe a little.
Yeah. Merry Cringe-Mas.
Can we call this episode that?
Sure. Done.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, so maybe that's actually like where the inspiration for the Christmas Shoes song came from, was like maybe the man actually who's the protagonist of the song is actually Krampus, and he's like, maybe he's been like really grumpy and like mean to people and like kicking over snowmen because he's like, oh, I just can't wear shoes.
Can he kick over snowmen with one hoof and
he punches them? He just like throat chops snowmen. Fine. And maybe he's like really sad and he's like, I wish I could wear shoes. And then this little kid's like, hey, my mom's gonna die, can I get her these shoes? And maybe Krampus like has a change of heart and he's like, I can't wear shoes, but at least I'm not gonna die and meet Jesus tonight.
I don't think Krampus would fare well with Jesus.
I don't either. But let's find out.
Probably not invited to the birthday party. Also, okay, kids have terribly bad taste.
They're horrible shoes. They're
probably terrible shoes. I don't even know if they're the right size. Not to poke holes in the Christmas shoe sadness storm, but
they're Christmas Crocs. Okay, so back to Krampus. All right, so yeah, he's got not great feet. He has the shaggy black furred body of a goat.
Explains the hoof.
But not the foot.
No, not the foot, but the hoof.
Yep. He has long, twisting horns protruding above a grossly demonic face with bloodshot eyes, sharp fangs, and a bright red pointed or forked tongue.
Look, he's probably tired. He's been trudging through.
Yep.
Like, not to defend, is he a demon? What? To defend the...
Yeah. But also maybe his eyes are just bloodshot from crying to Christmas shoes. Maybe
he was jamming out to that. He got a little sad, and
that song has to be one of the circles of hell. So maybe he just listens to it on repeat as he's like a retail worker. I think that's the circle of hell Krampus is in, and he just listens to Christmas shoes while folding sweaters.
Did I ever tell you about the brief time I worked at Toys R Us?
No, were you a Toys R Us kid?
No, I was a Toys R Us cashier for a brief season.
Okay.
Because from the day after Halloween until the day after New Year's, that's a long stretch, guys.
Yeah.
All they played on the intercom on repeat was the Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas album.
No.
And it was psychological warfare.
Oh, no.
I want to hear. Oh my God. I didn't make it.
That's how they weed out the weak ones.
That is a circle of hell. And I would say that in that Go Ninja, Go song from Ninja Turtles is right there too.
Don't hate on my turtles, but I can appreciate that listening to it on loop might not be the greatest joy your life could bring.
No.
All right.
So I feel you, Krampus, right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he's all bloodshot and he's just been listening to Alvin and the Chipmunks.
And he needs a pedicure.
Alvin!
For his one-man foot.
Yeah. He needs they file hooves.
They even file hooves. I know a guy. I know a goat guy.
Okay.
They file their hooves.
There you go.
No, just to be clear, I don't know a man who's half goat. I know a man who has some goats. And
you don't know Mr. Tumnus?
I don't.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. You need to spend more time in the wardrobe.
I know a bunch of goats, though.
Okay. Do they faint?
Not that I've seen.
Disappointing. Do they wear pajamas?
No.
Also disappointing.
But one of them headbutted me in the crotch once.
That's a start.
Okay.
So if you've only
like vanilla wafers.
What?
They really like vanilla wafers.
Okay. I didn't hear the first part. I just heard vanilla wafers as I started talking.
I wanted to give you something happier than they butted me in the crotch. Something on Mr. Tumnus cute level.
Okay, because I was like about to...
You like vanilla wafers.
I was about to talk about my Christmas demon and I just hear vanilla wafers. And I was like, okay.
Maybe he just didn't get enough vanilla wafers.
And his shoes.
And he needs his foot taken care of because he's not equipped to deal with that. He doesn't have any rocks to naturally file down his hoof.
I think this is a sympathetic story, and I think
So
the story idea I've gotten this week is like a sad Krampus story. I'm gonna write a
All
sad Krampus
right.
Christmas story, and it'll be available on our Patreon.
Everybody,
that we don't have.
just leave out some vanilla wafers for Krampus this year.
Yes, I love that tradition. You heard it here first, folks. Okay, so if you've only been a little bit bad during this year, Krampus will punish you by whipping you with a birch switch.
I could like that.
As a reminder to do better in the year ahead.
That sounds terrible, but okay.
But if you've been very bad, he will scoop you up into his sack and carry you back to his cave to eat you, or maybe all the way back down to hell where Chipmunk's Christmas is on repeat.
Sure.
Please, God. While Krampus has had ties to Santa or Saint Nick for the last few hundred years, like most Christmas traditions, he can be traced back to pagan roots.
Well, I'm not surprised. He's half goat, half human.
And beats people with a birch switch, which my autocorrect really wanted to be a bitch switch.
I kind of like that version.
I do too.
I gotta pull out the bitch switch.
Vanilla wafers, that's the safe word.
Wait, vanilla wafers,
that's
you're
the
okay.
Safe word. Oh, God. Guys, we're in a really weird headspace tonight. We had like an hour-long conversation about just like being sad and mental health. Monsters. But we're trying really hard right now. Okay, so according to these pagan traditions, Krampus was said to be the son of the Norse ruler of the underworld Hel, as well as Loki. So great parents really leads you to be a fun kind of guy.
You know, those Norse and those Greek and Roman gods really interbred, so.
He got around, man.
No wonder he's poor thing with his hoof and his
It's
foot,
just a really sad
That's a sad gene pool.
Yeah. Though
some the Habsburg family.
Though some people think that his origins are actually from the pagan Yule goat, which was sometimes a being who was used as an incentive for pagan kids to behave.
Wait a second.
There's
a separate goat?
I tried really hard to find anything about that because I was like, you can't just leave me hanging here, SmithsonianMag.com.
I know about Yule Catan, and I really hope you do Yule Catan.
Okay.
That is the Christmas cat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Yule Catan. I think I'm saying that right. I think
I know a different name for it, but yes, I'm on board.
I went to a Christmas party where you all had to dress up like different Christmassy things, and that's what I went as.
It's very
mostly because that's what I had laying around.
Yeah,
just like cat stuff.
Yeah, that's on brand. You just like strapped your cat to yourself, and you're like, I'm a Christmas cat.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah,
something like that.
So I tried to look up the Yule goat, and apparently, like, it's still a thing to like have a Yule goat decoration, but I couldn't find this like Yule goat that will fuck up your kid. So I'm wondering if maybe it was literally a goat in like the pagan times that they were like, hey, it'll just headbutt you in the crotch if you don't give it vanilla wafers. Be good. Because like goats will break you.
I got a Yule goat guy. Do you want a Yule goat? You're a witch. Would you like a Yule goat for Christmas?
Hell yeah, let's go.
Okay, I'll arrange a video chat with your very own Yule goat.
I would love nothing more.
And then when you say so, I will be your arm, and I will just give the vanilla wafers. And you can pretend like you're feeding the vanilla wafers.
Please. Okay. I want it to be like an app game that I can just like tap on the screen and be like, cookie, 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 cookie.
If you can't see me right now, but what I'm doing is I'm giving a cookie every time.
It's very much like
Is vanilla wafer a cookie?
We can't have this conversation, Jessie. Okay. This episode's going to be 6 hours long.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right.
As we know, Christianity took over and became the dominating religion throughout Europe and much of the world by force.
Yes.
And as new traditions took over, the Yule goat became Krampus, and he became associated with Christmas.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in. Sorry, I'm shutting up because I'd stay on the vanilla wafer thing forever.
I know you would, sugar. I know you would. In the 12th century, the Catholic Church made an attempt to banish all mention of Krampus because they believed that he was too close to the devil.
But does the devil have a regular foot?
I don't think that we know that, but he looks pretty not like the devil.
Certainly.
So he's like an upside down Baphomet, kinda.
Did you say an upside down Baphomet?
Baphomet.
What's
the
that?
goat-headed, like, a lot of times that's considered
Yeah, like the satanic symbol.
Yeah, he's like an
right.
upside-down Baphomet, because he's got the human-ish top parts. It's the
Wait, his head is human? I thought his head was more goat-like.
It's pretty humanoid. He's just got horns.
All right.
So
while you're doing that, I'm going to do a little Google here and find myself a picture. But
yeah, he's very much, he's got like the Mr. Tumnus vibe, where his bottom half is goat, his top half is mostly person, and he's got big ass, like, long, what's the spirally sheep guys? Longhorn, buck,
rams?
big horns. Yeah, big horn rams. There you go, rams. But there's this specific type.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyways, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. Despite the church's attempts to get people to...
Oh, he's creepy.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, I knew, but, like, but then to see it is a whole nother... Okay, I kind of get behind the Catholic Church a little bit in this. It's a little creepy.
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong here. Yeah. Go on.
All right, so despite their attempts to get people to stop celebrating the tradition of Krampus, he persisted through the ages. And when the postcard industry boomed at the end of the 19th century, Krampus found a new way to rise, and Krampus cards became the new trend. And I am so into Krampus cards, it's not even a little bit funny. So these cards were beautifully painted, like the Christmas cards of the time. They have these, it's that kind of Rockwellian stylized painted style. Mm-hmm. Except on these cards was depicted scenes of Krampus kidnapping, beating, licking, or maybe even roasting children alive.
Licking?
Yeah.
Why is he licking them?
His, like, creepy tongue, I don't know if he's not like, but, like, his creepy tongue is, like, over them.
Don't snakes have creepy tongues too? I mean, they do. But I wonder, isn't that how snakes just, like, tell what something is? Maybe he's just like, oh, there's a child.
I think so.
I keep defending the weird goat guy. I'm sorry. I just sympathize with it.
Team Krampus. But also, I love, so, like, there are all these very, like, kind of creepy and upsetting. Like I said, he's got a kid on, like, a spit roast in one of these. Like, it's kind of weird. But they all say, Gruß vom Krampus, which means greetings from Krampus. So it's like a literal holiday card for Krampus. And I love it so much. Alternatively, there were adult Krampus cards.
I want to know. Is it going to take a sexual turn?
Which depicted Krampus seducing women.
Of course it did. Yes,
or women with Krampus's birch or bitch switch. At this point, it's a bitch switch. Raised over, like they were going to use it on him, being a little sassy and turning the tables. Krampus is into a little BDSM. Vanilla wafer is your safe word. I'm just in love with all of this. I want Krampus cards in my life. You can buy them on Etsy. Right. I've already checked. I want, instead of, like the ugly sweaters is the trend.
You just want to send out a bunch of Krampus BDSM vanilla wafer?
I want a Krampus Christmas sweater. I've seen some of them, and I love the idea. I want a Gruß vom Krampus. I live in Germany. I should have a German Christmas sweater.
You should find that somewhere. They gotta have it hanging around.
I'm so here for it. Maybe next year, when things are open again, I can find my dream sweater. I will wear it every day.
And a weird antique for me.
Yes, a weird antique
Preferably
for you.
Jewelry.
A weird Krampus antique. In the 1930s, after the Dollfuss regime came into power in Austria, they again started a campaign to ban Krampus because fascists ruin everything. Yeah. In 1953, the Austrian Catholic Union newspaper worked with the head of the Vienna kindergarten system to send out pamphlets to parents that called Krampus, quote, an evil man, and warned parents that celebrating Krampusnacht, which is Krampus night, could scar children for life, which is probably fair.
Yeah, enjoy kindergarten. Here's a pamphlet of shame.
They also vowed to arrest Krampus whenever they saw him and banned all Krampus celebrations.
Okay.
So don't worry, guys. The police will arrest Krampus.
I'm sure that's not going to backfire on them.
Even with their best efforts, the alt-right couldn't keep Krampus away, and his traditions persisted once again.
Okay. I get that it's scarring to kids. Yes, you probably shouldn't tell your kids they're going to get abducted and whipped in the night. I agree with that. Yes, 100%. Mm-hmm. I never thought I'd agree with the alt-right on something, but I guess Krampus would kind of be it.
Yeah.
We don't have to erase it from our history.
I feel like the missing step here is like, hey, parents, don't tell your kids that Krampus is going to beat them with a birch switch. But, like, if y'all want to do some, like, Krampus roleplay and you want to get whipped with a bitch switch, that's your prerogative.
Where's that in the kindergarten pamphlet?
Where do babies come from?
Well, Mommy and Daddy got a bitch switch one night, and Mommy didn't say vanilla wafer, and here you are. It's a Christmas miracle.
According to an article from the 1958 year of our Lord, from 1958, from Austria, Krampus would deliver gold-painted bundles of birch sticks to children, which were smaller versions of what he would use to beat bad children with, for families to hang up on the wall as a reminder throughout the year for what would happen if you weren't good, and that these twigs were found in the, quote, particularly in those houses where the behavior of the children merits the application of corporal correction.
How many years later, and now it's Elf on the Shelf.
We had birch on the wall turned into
Birch on the Hall and Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah. I'm very anti-Elf on the Shelf. That's my hot take. I think it's too much work, and I think it's creepy as fuck, and we don't invite that fae into our house unless they're Jessi.
And if you have snacks, I will show up.
Yeah, I'm team not Elf on the Shelf, so maybe we'll have birch in the hall. Where am I? I keep getting turned around. See, this is what happens when you and I get slap happy and talk for an hour about how sad we are, and I drink and then have to tell stories.
Oh, mine's gonna just bum everybody out again, so let's enjoy it while we can.
To this day, there are festivals each winter where there are Krampuslofts, which literally means Krampus run, and it's where people dress up as Krampus and run through the streets chasing people and making mischief.
How do you do that with a prosthetic goat hoof?
I don't know.
But people do. I believe Bloomington, Indiana has that.
Some places, it's become very trendy in the States as well. And I'm very sad that everything is closed and I live in Germany, because I would so go to one of these.
You should totally. Oh, you can't. But
right.
If you did, then it would be, I
know.
Okay.
I know.
Oh, but fun fact, our very own Mike Carlin, who did our supposedly theme song, he used to go to one every year.
Oh, that's awesome.
He told me about that once, that there was a Krampus run he was going to and taking pictures or something. I don't know. But shout out to Mike while I'm thinking about him.
Yeah. So last year it was reported that these Krampuslofts were responsible for drunken disorderly calls. Not surprised.
I believe anything is gonna result in that.
But when you're dressed up as
any festival,
when you're dressed up as a Christmas demon and your whole objective is to like scare the crowd, you're off to not a great start in the drunken disorderly category.
Okay. I like how there's a category where they're like, Krampus, and drunk Krampus.
Yeah. Unfortunately but wisely, these events have been called off for this year with the hopes to resume in 2021. And that statement comes from Munich's website.
Thank you for that informative
like,
update.
But no, like, this is a big deal. Like, to the point where, like,
I know it's a big deal.
The Munich website's like, hey, sorry on behalf of Munich that this shit ain't happening, but, like, y'all got
on
COVID.
On behalf of Krampus. He's not coming this year. He doesn't want to wear a mask. COVID.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit over his long forked tongue very well.
He couldn't figure it out.
But
it's complicated.
We get this vaccine. My primary goal is not to get to go home and see my family. It's not to get to go home and see you. It's to be able to go to a Krampus run next year.
Well, you better show up to that.
I know. We have
on your phone or
we have a couple more years here, and I'm really hopeful that things are normalized next year, because Christmas in Germany is really pretty magical in general. There's Christmas markets and anyway.
Here's what I want for you. I want for you to be able to go to Oktoberfest, which you weren't able to do, and I want you to
went the first year. I went to Oktoberfest about 2 weeks after I got off the plane. I was still kind of jet lagged, very confused, staying in a hotel, and I got
at least you've had that
the drunkest I've ever gotten in my life.
And then I want you to get some good sausage somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, I've had a lot of good sauce. Oh, well, that's...
Did somebody bring their bitch switch?
Ooh. No one's saying vanilla wafer tonight. No, no, that's just kind of the food of Germany.
Yeah.
It's a very meat-heavy place. But no, Oktoberfest was a lot of fun. It was kind of like every single Midwest state fair I've ever been to.
Okay.
On a much grander scale.
Was there funnel cake?
Kind of. There was like German equivalents. Yeah, there was like a Midway that had like carnival games and stuff, a lot of like food kiosks. I ate like half of a chicken. Don't really remember that.
I ate half of a chicken and don't remember that. Are you Krampus?
I shared it with a girl who I didn't really know, and we told each other how pretty we were, because that's what you could do.
You had a drunk girl in the bathroom moment, except it was over a chicken.
Goals.
That's beautiful.
I am who I am. I love that you said that's beautiful. It reminds me of like those, have you ever seen those stories that are like, in my culture, we don't say I love you, we say blah, blah, blah. And I think that's beautiful. And it was like, in my culture, we don't say I love you to drunk girls, we share a chicken. And I think
we share half
beautiful.
A chicken, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
All right.
We've already had the food as my love language conversation with each other.
Chipotle is mine. Yeah.
Yep. I don't have Chipotle. Rub it in.
Sorry. Yeah. But you do have Krampus. In 2021.
In 2021. Krampus is on hold. So during these Krampus runs, the tradition is to wear elaborate hand-carved wooden masks. Though now you'll see some pretty intense horror movie quality, like prosthetics and silicone.
I saw that.
Yo, they're intense. But the original ones are actually really beautiful. And the traditional masks are considered pieces of folklore history and are even included in, like, museums.
Of course they should be.
And on the topic of museums...
You know I love a good museum.
Kitzbühel and Stahlofen, which I'm not saying right, which are towns in Austria, both have Krampus museums.
You gotta go to that.
I really need COVID to be over. There's so much stuff I want to do. I want to go to Switzerland, see where my grandparents are from. I want to go to Krampus everything all the time. Yep. So yeah, Krampus has withstood the test of time for years and years and years and forever. And then I have a second shorter backup story just because everyone's heard of Krampus and it's kind of lame.
Oh, okay.
So really quickly, we are going to head to Wales.
Okay.
And
Hey!
I'm
partially from there.
Well, then we're going to talk about some weird shit that your ancestors got up to.
Yay! Love it. Let's do it.
Talking about the Mari Lwyd.
Oh, is this the rap battle?
Yes.
Rap battle a deer for alcohol? Yes. I'm in. Okay.
I'm me, so I had to tell this story because this checks all the supposedly boxes.
Yes.
So, for those of you who don't know, the Mari Lwyd is a horse skull on a stick, kind of like the hobby horse heads that little kids ride around on, with one or two people under a sheet holding it, who goes house to house while its hype men challenge people to a Christmas caroling or wassailing rap battle.
How do you get the job of horse on stick hype man?
I think you lose out on being the horse itself.
Okay.
It's usually just like six
Which
drunk...
is better, to be the hype man or to be the
hype man?
Stick?
It's gotta be
hype
hot
man,
and stinky
right?
under that sheet.
Right, hype man would be better.
Yeah. It's just a all day. The custom was first recorded in 1800 and told of these groups of men, the Mari Lwyd, who went house to house in this horse head regalia. And when I say horse head, I mean skull. Like, it is creepy as fuck.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing how this got started, and I'm pretty sure it started at a pub.
It's like a Greek, like, frat boy shit. Like, this is some, like, Hey,
I got an idea. Grab that horse skull. Right. I got a stick. Let's go get some booze. This was somebody's drunken idea.
Completely, and I'm here for it. So at each house, they would ask to come in with a catchy song where the homeowner was expected to deny them, leaving them to try again and again until they lost this kind of rap battle. And the homeowner gave in and let the Mari Lwyd bunch in for booze and snacks, which are... I love rap, I love booze, I love snacks, I love dead things. Let's go.
This is right up Rue's alley.
It's everything I've ever wanted. So it's unclear the origins of the name. Some people believe that it refers to the Holy Mother Mary, referring to the donkey that she rode.
Somebody was drunk and was out of booze and was like, come on, guys, I got an idea, and wore down their neighbor who was like, you know what, fuck it, Tim.
Yeah, others think it means the gray mare, referencing the appearance. So this tradition also obviously predates Christianity. So if it does bear the name as a reference to Mary, Mother of Jesus, it's definitely a Christian rebranding. Potentially...
It's some drunk guy named Tim who was out of whiskey and thought it was a good idea, guys, is what it was. And then eventually his other drunk buddies were like, let's make it a thing!
So potentially the character originally resembled Death, due to the white sheets, and this was part of the pagan Samhain traditions. But then they just moved it up to Christmas, and they're like, it's more fun to get drunk at Christmas time because it's cold as shit.
Somebody had a white sheet available. Come on.
Yeah.
It's like when your mom's like, oh, you're going to be a ghost for Halloween this year.
Mom, are we poor?
Yes. Yes, we are. Give me
Put
the
on your
vanilla
sheet and
wafers.
shut up. Okay. It's also been suggested that this was meant to represent a fertility character, which I'm sure it is, because
the whiskey gets you babies.
Oh, yeah. This is another tradition that was almost pushed out by Christianity, but in the last century, people have been working really hard to resurrect it, which is pretty awesome to watch it revive from being almost completely extinct to now there are new drunk 20-somethings rapping it out in a horse.
You know what? Tim's great-great-great-grandson, Chad, decided that he needed some booze and brought it back.
Maybe he did a 23andMe and found out that his great-great-grandpa was the first Mari Lwyd, and he was like, I gotta bring it back this is my family.
This is my legacy.
Yeah.
Give me your booze.
So the Mari Lwyd is said to have a jaw that can move, so it can actually articulate its rapping. And is adorned with ribbons and significant symbols. People actually put a lot of work into these. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
After the rap battle is over, the homeowner makes the requests of the Mari Lwyd not to put out the fire or destroy anything or to be an asshole. And then once they're inside, all of that goes out the window, and it's the Mari Lwyd and its hype men's job to just fuck shit up.
This sounds terrible. You're out whiskey, your house is messed up, there's some weird guy with a horse skull hanging around.
Scaring your children. Yeah.
I don't.
That's not my favorite part.
Oh, crazy ancestors.
And then I'll end with a quote from The Ballad of the Mari Lwyd by Vernon Watkins. Mari Lwyd, Lwyd Mary, a sacred thing through the night they carry. Betrayed are the living, betrayed the dead. All are confused by a horse's head.
Fair. I'm confused.
Yeah. So I was just worried that Krampus wasn't quite long enough or good enough for the people who already knew about him. So I just wanted to give you a weird rat battling horse skull.
I love a good rat battling horse skull.
Yay, now make me sad.
I will.
Okay.
So it's December 26th in Boulder, Colorado, when police receive quite a distressing 911 call. The voice was of Patsy Ramsey, who claimed her daughter had been kidnapped. Now, this was a very weird case for Boulder, Colorado, because they hadn't really dealt with the kidnapping. Not to mention, it's December 26th, so a lot of the police officers that would normally be available were on Christmas vacation, and they were kind of down to a bit of a skeleton crew. So police arrived to find Jon Benet Ramsey and Patsy Ramsey clearly distressed. Patsy shows police a 3-page ransom note demanding $118,000 for the return of her daughter. The note went on to state that she should not contact the police in any regard, otherwise Jon Benet would be killed. So police come in and they try to take control of the crime scene, but because they were so understaffed and they hadn't had a lot of experience with a kidnapping before or a ransom note in any regard, they didn't do a very good job of securing the crime scene. And at one point, they even allow Jon Benet, her father, to go search the home. In doing so, he goes to search the basement, and that's where he finds the body of Jon Benet Ramsey, his 6-year-old daughter. She had been strangled and was found with tape over her mouth, and her hands were tied together with a cord. There were some signs of sexual assault at the time, and these reports are heartbreaking that he comes upstairs holding his daughter's body and is sobbing, and he lays her underneath the Christmas tree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, take a moment to let that sink in.
Yeah.
It's how terrible that would have been.
I kind of did that thing we do where we just silently react, and I was like, I have to say something. This is a auditory platform, but holy shit.
He lays the body underneath the Christmas tree, and that's when police decide, okay, maybe we should start getting this crime scene locked down a little better, and they go on to take control. The FBI is called in, and the scene is locked off. So, like I said before, Boulder detectives did a pretty poor job of preserving the evidence, and they were even allowed Jon Ramsey to disrupt the crime scene by removing his daughter's body from the basement.
Yeah, which, I mean, as a parent, I don't know how you don't do that, but from the true crime perspective, oh my god, even touching her, disrupting any of that is Such a
Well,
lot.
and they had friends over there at the time who had come over to show support and all that. So at the time, there's no signs of an intruder that they found.
Mm-hmm.
And suspicion quickly falls on Jon Benet's parents as police begin to look at who's closest to her to solve this murder. They start thinking that the ransom note seems pretty suspicious because not only did they strangely specifically ask for the amount of $118,000, that amount was strange because that's the exact amount of a bonus Jon Benet Ramsey had received by his employer previously.
Oh, so you have to know some things.
Yeah. The paper that the ransom note had been written on, it was found in the Ramsey home as well. And the note seemed to be very unusually wordy and written.
Yeah.
Most ransom notes are pretty direct and get to the point, historically. And to have a 3-page note that kind of rambled on about who they were and all that was a little overly detailed.
Well, yeah, because it's usually money, this time, this place, be there, or she dies.
So the note requests that that John and Patsy wait for a call between the times of 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. to discuss what's next. Of course, that call never comes, and that's when John's allowed to look around the home and discovers the body of Jon Benet. So this case becomes immediately sensationalized because Jon and Patsy Ramsey, they didn't do the best job at cooperating with the investigation immediately. And this really fueled speculation about their guilt in the case. In addition, Jon Benet was known to be a pageant queen at a very young age. She was a very active participant in beauty pageants, which required her to wear heavy makeup, sophisticated clothing, and was widely considered to be inappropriate. If you're not familiar with the Jon Benet Ramsey case, it's a 6-year-old girl dressed up to be that of, 26, 30-year-old woman in
But
attire.
it's so much more than that. I mean, it's the spray tans and the fake nails and the fake eyelashes and the I mean, it's more than even I as a 25-year-old woman do on a regular basis. It's a very artificial, glamorous visage.
So the investigation into her murder continues for more than 2 years. And it has been just a case. So I'm going to get into the timeline a little bit. I'm trying to jump around in this because it's a case I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. And two, like I said, we're kind of on a time crunch at this point. So on January 4th, 1997, reports reveal that Jon Benet's skull had been fractured.
Oh my.
ABC did an interesting look at this and tried to match what could possibly match the indentation made in her skull. They likened it to that of being smashed in with a Maglite flashlight at the time.
Okay, that's very specific.
Right. The next step in the process was April 30th, 1997. Police conduct their first formal interviews with Jon and Patsy Ramsey. And if you're wondering why it took so long,
4 months later?
It's because they immediately lawyered up and they didn't really want to cooperate with police because they felt like police were only looking at them and not finding who could have done this to their daughter. Jon Benet was said to be strangled with a garrote fastened out of a paintbrush handle that had belonged to Patsy Ramsey that was found not far from the body. And on December 1997, Boulder police say that Jon and Patsy Ramsey remain under an umbrella of suspicion. Basically saying they're people of interest, which then fuels a huge public outrage against them. In January 15th of 1998, Jon Benet's parents declined to participate in a second interview with detectives, and they said that they're not going to cooperate unless police allow them to review evidence in the case. Which is interesting. Handwriting analysis then goes on to say that it's very likely Patsy Ramsey wrote the note.
That's great. Handwriting analysis is so fascinating too.
It is. It's very interesting. Yeah. It's believed that you can change your handwriting for a couple sentences, maybe up to a paragraph.
Yeah.
In watching interviews with the handwriting analysis that actually did the full analysis of this ransom note, she shows very clear signs that it could have likeliness to Patsy Ramsey's handwriting. In the fact that Patsy would often make her cues like 8s.
Okay, that's very specific.
And there are a few other things. I'll read the ransom note here a little bit. But there were a few very specific things that kind of jumped out at them. Another piece of evidence that kind of stood out to police during this investigation was a bowl of pineapple found with a spoon on the kitchen table. In Patsy and Jon's timeline of events, they arrive home from a Christmas party and they put Jon Benet to bed right away. And she isn't given anything to eat after they get home. Her stomach contents later showed that she had pineapple in her stomach. So this bowl of pineapple that was left out is very suspicious because if their timeline is to believe be believed, the intruder, or whoever had murdered Jon Benet,
Right.
likely was the one to give her the pineapple before her final moments.
Wow. That's so eerie.
So on October 13th, 1999, Boulder County District Attorney Alex Hunter states that no indictments will be issued due to a lack of evidence in the case. They were having a hard time because of police involvement and just the disintegration of the time.
Yeah.
The crime scene. Like I said, a few police arrived. They had family friends in the home.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty well contaminated, and not a lot of pictures were taken at the exact time before her body was.
Yeah.
So in December of 2003, new DNA samples are submitted to the FBI database in the hope of finding new leads. Jon Benet did show some signs of sexual abuse, which we're just not going to get into.
Okay.
Another interesting thing that was found was a suitcase that had been kind of dragged over to a nearby window where they found a little bit of DNA, as though someone possibly could have put her in the suitcase and tried to get her out.
Right.
Unfortunately, in June 24th of 2006, Patsy Ramsey, who's 49, dies of ovarian cancer.
Mm.
A lot of documentaries that you'll see about this case, I'm trying to, I don't want to tiptoe around this, but a lot of them cast a lot of blame towards Patsy just because she showed some very interesting reactions to interviews and things like that. She was a former beauty queen herself.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people found it easy to relate to her. Plus, during the 911 call initially, some people claimed to hear the voice of a young child that they believed to be Burke Ramsey.
Okay.
John and Patsy's younger son.
Mm-hmm.
But in their timeline of events, Burke was kind of rushed out of the house pretty quickly and therefore shouldn't have been in the call.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people point towards Patsy Ramsey for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of suspicion was put on them. In August 16th, 2006, officials announced that 41-year-old John Mark Carr has been arrested in Bangkok, Thailand as a suspect of the case. So he tells an American investigator that he drugged Jon Benet and sexually assaulted her before he accidentally killed her.
Wow.
But DNA tests failed to link him to the crime scene. And at the time, this is such a prominent and talked about case that a lot of copycat people were claiming that they had something to do with it just for the notoriety in itself.
Yeah. So
DNA tests absolve him, and I believe they were unable to even point him in the area of Boulder, Colorado at the time, too.
Okay.
So July 29, 2008, the district attorney, Mari Lwyd, says that no one in the Ramseys is considered a suspect and formally apologizes in a letter to Jon Ramsey. So this is, over 10 years since the death of his child.
You said it was 2000?
No, 2008.
Okay.
And the murder happened in
96.
96.
Yeah, wow.
So they absolved the family of any negative doing.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I think that's fair though. Like when it's like a wife, you always look at the husband. When it's a child, you always look at the parents. Like traditionally we have kind of that pattern set up. It's unfortunate how long it took to clear them, but yeah.
Right. And because DNA was starting to kind of show up that they had taken. Remember in the 90s, DNA was not what it is today or by the 2008. So they had found some DNA of a male and possibly multiple male individuals.
Oh my gosh.
In different areas, one of which being where she was assaulted.
Right.
So February 2009, the Boulder Police Department resumes its status as the lead agency investigating the case. And October 2nd, 2010, police investigators conduct some new rounds of interviews. January 27th of 2003, the Boulder Daily Camera reports that in 1999, the grand jury voted to indict John and Patsy Ramsey on charges of child abuse resulting in death, but Hunter decided there wasn't enough evidence to file the charges and did not indeed sign the indictment. So December 28th, this is where we're going to get into a little bit of this documentary that has later had charges pressed against it. 2016, CBS airs a documentary series about the case, suggesting that Jon Benet's brother Burke Ramsey may have in fact been the culprit. They suspect, I don't know, can I say this without us getting sued? If I say what they proposed?
I think you can because you're just reporting what someone else said.
Right. Okay, so they proposed that Burke wanted some of this pineapple and in a fit of jealous rage gets basically a mag light out and hits her off the back of the head. And that allegedly Patsy, if not Patsy and Jon Benet, covered up the murder for fear that their son might be taken away from them, as well as their daughter who had passed.
Right.
One thing to note, though, is that while she did have an indentation in her skull from the mag light, it said she's believed to survive that, and then it was actually being strangled to death that killed her.
Wow.
So Burke Ramsey files a $250 million defamation lawsuit against the network and the production company that made this documentary. And one of the experts that's featured in it, Dr. Werner Spitz. So Burke had filed separate defamation lawsuits against the same guy in October, stemming from a comment that the doctor made during a radio interview. And Jon Ramsey later files his own suit against CBS in a Michigan state court.
Wow. I mean, so absolving them of any guilt as what has been publicly done. That's horrible to have this chasing you down. It's been 25 years. I mean, for this to still be, oh, do you think the parents did? Like, oh my God, if you are truly innocent, you are still having those rumors brought up about your family. I can't imagine how haunting that is to still be grieving the loss of your child and also to still have your name in those people's mouths.
Oh, absolutely. So the case is still open today. And if you have any information, please get in touch with Boulder Police.
Yeah.
However you can. I'm going to go ahead and pull up that ransom note and read that to you guys. And then we'll talk a little bit more about things that jumped out in the ransom note and how they were investigated. Sorry, I have to pull it up in a translation because the original handwriting is a little tricky.
Well, yeah, the Q's are all 8s.
All right, so Patsy Ramsey claimed that she found the ransom note near the bottom of the stairs the day her daughter disappeared. And it reads, "Dear Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction. We do respect your business, but not the country that it serves. At this time, we have your daughter in our possession. She is safe and unharmed, and if you want her to see 1997, you must follow our instructions to the letter.
Whoa.
You will withdraw $118,000 from your account. $100,000 will be in $100 bills, and the remaining $18,000 in $20 bills. Make sure that you bring an adequate sized attaché to the bank." That's quite a word there, attaché.
Right.
"When you get home, you will put the money in a brown paper bag. I will call you between 8 and 10 a.m. tomorrow to instruct you on delivery. The delivery will be exhausting, so I advise you be rested. If we monitor you getting the money early, we might call you earlier to arrange an earlier delivery of the money and hence an earlier delivery pickup of your daughter." Anything you want to say on that before I continue?
No, I'll wait till the end. I will hold my comments.
"Any deviation of my instructions will result in the immediate execution of your daughter. You will also be denied her remains for proper burial. The 2 gentlemen watching over your daughter do not practically like you, so I advise you not to provoke them. Speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, etc., will result in your daughter being beheaded. If we catch you talking to a stray dog, she dies. If you alert the bank authorities, she dies. If the money is in any way marked or tampered with, she dies. You will be scanned for electronic devices, and if any are found, she dies. You can try to deceive us, but be warned that we are familiar with law enforcement countermeasures and tactics. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter if you try to outsmart us. Follow our instructions, and you stand a 100% chance of getting her back. You and your family are under constant scrutiny, as well as the authorities. Don't try to grow a brain, John. You are not the only fat cat around, so don't think that killing will be difficult. Don't underestimate us, John. Use that good Southern common sense of yours. It's up to you now, John. Victory. SBTC."
Wow. No, so the revelation that I kind of had is, since we do think that it looks kind of like the mom's handwriting, I wonder if like part of the story hasn't come out, that maybe she was like being held up or something and they like made her write it so it wouldn't be traced back. That's the only thing I can think of, because that's a weird as hell note.
Yeah, to be clear, we don't think that handwriting analysis has assessed that.
True.
That is very likely her handwriting.
Yeah, but I mean, since like that's what the data shows, that,
yeah,
like,
that could.
It was written under coercion, or
could be.
I don't know. It's so oddly formal.
It is very oddly formal.
But also that kind of makes me think, is that like, so I know some Spanish, and the way that my experience has been with learning foreign languages is that you're often taught kind of a more formal, archaic version of it.
Okay.
And so if they do represent like this foreign faction that maybe English isn't their first language, maybe that's why they're using attaché instead of backpack or
large bag.
Well, because, you know, maybe it's that they're grasping for the first word that they can think of,
Could
kind
be.
of thing. And I don't know. Or maybe like, I don't know. I don't know. It's very bizarre. The whole note is weird.
Right. And they do very much go into kind of a lot of detail, which FBI released. Well, they didn't release a statement, but they've spoken in documentaries about how in most cases with ransom notes, they're very short, they're very to the point, and they don't usually go on to talk about who they are or why they are doing it, because that's something that you would maybe do if you were trying to cast suspicion on someone else. So to say they are a small foreign faction, and to go on to mention that there are 2 men that have the daughter that do not like him.
Well, also because it feels like at that point you're arming the FBI or whoever, should you get them involved, with stats and data that can help you apprehend them. It's like, all right, well, how many guys got her? We know 2 guys got her. All right. And you can kind of put your SWAT team around that, you know.
Why are they going after Jon? Because he's not the only fat cat around, because he's wealthy.
Exactly. Oh, do we need to put the other guys at Jon's company on high alert? Like, it's a lot of information.
It is a lot of information, and typically it stands as the longest ransom note to ever been reported currently.
Oh, wow.
Supposedly. I'm going to say, because I don't know how long the documentary is that I watched is out of date by.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But to be fair, it's still up there as one of the longest.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, I mean, usually it's like tweet links. Like, it's like, 2
right.
o'clock, the park, 5,000, let's go.
You'll get your daughter back safely. Yeah. Right. So this is a very, very interesting.
It feels like a CV. It's like,
right.
What's your objective? To get a job at a small foreign faction. What is your mission statement?
We will kill the daughter in.
Right. It's very, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see why police and the FBI kind of had some doubt towards that.
Yeah.
Following, I mean, there have been a lot of things that the FBI looked into, as well as the police. In this case, there's the man we talked about who claimed to have done it and who was arrested. They looked into a man who played Santa at a Christmas party, who had given her a note that had said something to the effect of, after Christmas, something very special will happen to you. And he was absolved of any wrongdoing or anything.
It's still creepy, and the timing on that is just like,
not great.
Still worthy.
Right. And then a lot of conspiracy theories have popped up as well, including one that she is actually Katy Perry.
All right.
Yeah. So the Jon Benet case is one of those that continues to grow in pop culture, and every time there's a new documentary aired, or it gets in the news, or there's an anniversary, there's a new team of reporters that tries to investigate what happened, as well as oftentimes there are people who unfortunately try to call and claim that they have done this for notoriety.
Yeah, that's just such broken people.
So that, my friends, is the very brief overview of the Jon Benet Ramsey case.
Thank you.
And I hope someday we'll have some answers on that one.
I do too. I mean, she deserves that, if nothing else.
Absolutely. And her father went on to have kind of a sad life so far. I mean, his wife died, Patsy, not long after that. And then he actually had a 21-year-old daughter who died in a car accident. That was half sibling of Jon Benet.
Wow. That's awful.
Plus, his whole life he's had to go through with
the
people.
Scrutiny. Well, and like, when you literally name your child after you so distinctly, like, it's not like Ramsey's not the most uncommon name,
right? That
you could kind of sneak into that, but it's like, oh, your name is Jon Benet, kind of like Jon Benet, like everyone knows who you are.
She was named after her father.
Like, you clearly are the same dude. Like, you can't even check into a hotel.
Yeah, so he's had a hard life with that. I believe at one point he dated the mother of Natalie Holloway.
Oh my gosh. I guess the trauma kind of.
Yeah, they bonded over the trauma of their daughter's cases being unsolved at the time.
Wow. So tragic. I've kind of always wondered if it could be some kind of a stalker, because she was so hypersexualized as this pageant performer that weird, creepy, pedophilic obsessions can kind of.
They even ruled out one man who had a makeshift shrine dedicated to her.
Oh, that's so gross and weird.
That was in fact a pedophile. Yeah, that's very highly speculated.
Yeah.
Some people believe it could have just been an intruder who saw an out.
I just don't know why you write a 3-page ransom note at that point if you're a smash and grabber.
Right. In the CBS documentary that was sued, they alleged that potentially someone could have come in and tried to remove her with the suitcase.
It's upsetting just that we don't have answers, like, and how young she was, too.
Right. And I promise next week I will do a deeper dive.
Right on. No, I kind of hijacked with, we had to do Christmas shoes.
We had to do Christmas
We
shoes.
did.
And also, it's Jon Benet's it's a heavy emotional subject.
It is.
And I feel like it almost does her a disservice to talk about specifically what kind of sexual assault she faced.
Yeah.
But know that is part.
Well, and y'all have Google.
Yeah.
If y'all really need to know every single detail, there are a million podcasts and documentaries and all kinds of stuff that's done it. Like we always talk about, we really do try and tell the stories in a humanizing way, and talking about the horribly gruesome things that happen to a 6-year-old girl doesn't really do that. So that's not really supposedly shtick.
But next week on Supposedly, I will do a much deeper dive and cover something much more in depth. Do you have a preview of what you're going to do?
I mean, it's the creepy Christmas all month, all the time.
Yay! Loving it.
So we're going to get some more spooky holiday traditions.
I'm looking forward to it.
Please
do the Christmas cat.
I will. It's already on my list. Like I said, you kind of threw me off because I think I have it written down under a different name. So yeah. I'm excited to learn all the traditions of it. But yeah, it's already on my favorite list.
I'm trying to think of other Christmas deities I really like. Belshanickel's always good.
Yep.
That's really all I know.
We're gonna get into some weird ones. I already have my
wait.
assembled. Oh.
Babushka?
Is that a Christmas thing?
Russian. Yeah.
I thought that was just the Russian word for grandmother.
Well, she's a grandmother type figure that would break into your house and leave you sticks and stones under your pillow or something. I could be completely wrong.
I mean, same.
But it's something to that effect of like, ooh, someone comes in and leaves you things for being good. And I could be wrong. I could be butchering that terribly.
I like it. If not, let's make it a tulpa.
Or you could just surprise us with Babushka being a thing.
Mean Christmas Babushka.
Babushka is an old woman or grandmother in Russian. Yes, I know that. But what about Christmas?
Oh, yeah. It's also a famous Christmas story.
Oh, is it? Yay! Okay, cool. I was not wrong about that.
Right on. I had not heard that.
What's on your Christmas list, Rue, other than a German Christmas sweater that's Krampusy?
I mean, hopefully I'm going to get a car soon. What's on my list? I don't know. Nothing super exciting. I know it's dumb. I'm really pretty happy and pretty fortunate, all things considered, for how this year has shook out.
Shaken.
My big Christmas wish is a vaccine.
Okay.
I really want to be able to move about the cabin and do things next year.
You want to get a vaccine, yeah.
Yeah, no, a vaccine for Christmas would be great. How dystopian that's our reality. I mean, like, fuzzy socks and stuff are always...
Everybody likes fuzzy socks.
What's on your Christmas list?
I don't know.
Okay. I know, you put me on the spot.
I know, I asked you about it, and then, like, I would like... I'm just going to peek at my Amazon wish list.
There you go.
Yeah. Christmas, Glossier Boy Brown in Auburn.
Okay, I've heard a lot of people really like that.
Yeah, a lot of people like that eyebrow product.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Oh, okay, there's this board game. It's a Titanic board game.
Love
it's a role-playing game where you try to survive the sinking of the Titanic.
Oh.
It's a multiplayer game based on the movie by James Cameron.
Sweet.
That looks pretty fun. And they also have a Jaws one that looks pretty awesome as well.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I guess that's and then just I'm trying to move out and get a better place. So
yeah.
all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
Like a toaster and boring crap.
Right. A toaster and boring crap.
Oh, but how cool is this cookie jar?
Oh, that's super cool. So it looks like it's the top is like a wooden UFO, and then the cookies contained within it look like they're being beamed up.
Yeah, how cool is that?
That's so cool.
On my acting little list I have on my Amazon Prime, one of the things I want is a, oh my God, you're going to like this. It goes along the same line of that. It's paper clips and a paper clip holder for my scripts and stuff. That looks the same. It's a UFO that has a magnet on it. And then the paper clips are cows.
That's fabulous. I love
Isn't that
those.
funny? Yeah. So that's my supposedly wish list.
I love those. Yeah, we don't have any, or I don't, wow, we don't have any. I don't really have anything that I super duper want. I'm participating in like a Secret Santa thing.
Ooh, that's awesome.
With a Patreon of a different podcast. I'm super excited because secret peoples get picked like next week, and I'm excited to shop for my little person.
Yay!
I don't love getting gifts. It's uncomfortable for me just because I don't like the attention. I very much like to be in the background of things. But I love giving presents. Like, I think giving presents is so fun. I think I'm kind of good at it. It's very fun for me to like spend time. I don't know. I like the mischievous, like, ooh, I know something you don't know. That's kind of fun for me. But yeah, I love gifting. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, you and Darnell will have a box coming from me. Will it make it there before Christmas? We'll find out.
Nobody knows. And you have something coming from me that I'm really excited about because I really hope you love it.
Anything from you, I'll love, Ruth.
Yeah. It's another box of snacks from the Fae. I mean,
you know,
it's not,
exactly
but you'd be down.
I'm always down for snacks from the Fae. That's my people's food.
I could just like DoorDash you a Snickers
Fae
bar
snacks?
from 7-Eleven and you'd be like, oh, thanks.
You know, I used to have 2 male roommates, and whenever I would be on my period and cranky, one of my male roommates, Paul, would just slide a 2-pack of Reese's under the door.
He's not wrong.
And I'm like, yeah, that is how you handle me.
Yeah.
So, be stung Matt Damon if you're out there.
Slide some Reese's under the door.
Reese's under the door, and we'll be chill.
There you go.
Well, thank you guys for joining us on Supposedly. Yeah. Where can they find us, Ru?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at SupposedlyPod.
And we would love it if you send us an email at supposedlypod@gmail.com. We're really trying to get some listeners episodes up and going. So if you have any paranormal stories or anything weird or spooky that's happened to you, please let us know. And if there's anything you want us to cover that maybe we haven't, drop us a line. We'd love to help you out there. And we'll do it more in depth.
Yeah. And until then, join us next time on
Supposedly.